I'm Caroline.
I'm Phil.
And we are Let's Go With the Johnsons, Mudlarkers. This is our happy hour, but there's a lot of fun, a lot of chat,
Yes.
a little bit of mudlarking. So even if you're just feeling a bit lonely and you don't like mudlarking, it's a good place to be.
If I could correct that, we won't be actually mudlarking.
No, showing mudlarking vibes.
The closest we get to mudlarking at the moment, under the current conditions, is the office.
We mudlark in the garage, just where
Yes.
Phil's been, or the garage.
I have been very busy, boy. It doesn't look like it,
No.
but I've spent hours, and the stuff is no longer in the containers it was in. It's now in other containers. Now that may not sound like an achievement, but Caroline will bear witness that I filled 3 carrier bags with stuff that have gone.
Yep.
2 of which went in the bin today, because if we put 3 in, the bin man would have done himself an injury.
Oh, it was very heavy.
And that was just not even the scrap metal, because scrap metal that's going will go to the scrap man.
Yes.
Because we are the scrap man. That's a guy that drives around shouting on a loud hailer and taking all the scrap away and making his living. So, yeah, I'm having a sort out. As a result, it means, although the video this week was all about the flat tyre and the pebbles and other things, we have got finds, because I've been sorting some of the finds, some of the interesting stuff to show tonight and to have a look at. So we will have a show.
We will. Plus, I can almost easily reach my washing machine at the back of the garage. Almost.
Almost. It will get better.
I hope so.
Between our hobby of mudlarking and Caroline's business of eBay reselling, there's not a lot of breathing room in this house. And the garage. And one of my ambitions is to own a classic car.
Yes.
And the biggest obstacle to me ever owning a classic car is having a garage. Now, we have a garage, or even a garage, if you happen to be Welsh. But it's not spelt with an I, by the way. We just say it with an I. So the garage is not big enough for my ideal classic, but it's big enough for a classic, except for the fact that at the moment, as Caroline says, to walk to the back and simply put the washing in the machine.
It's like running the gauntlet.
It's tricky.
Yeah, tricky.
Anyway, enough of my woes.
Yes,
Let's get on with the show.
Who were the first 3 people in tonight? And the first one, no surprise, it was Adam's Advanced Adventures, the King.
Gee whiz.
Well done, first in again. And next was Karen Upfold. And then was Lexi B. So well done. Antoinette was very close on your heels. And Amanda Bell. Lovely to see you all here tonight. It's lovely to see some of you so keen and getting in so early.
I recognise a few of those names.
Yes.
I reckon they came straight over from Docking Bay 51's premiere.
Probably.
I had to leave early from the Docking Bay 51 thing to get ready tonight. Beautiful thing when you're watching people's premiere, or when you're actually doing a premiere, you don't have to look presentable.
No.
No, you can just be slobbing around. You can still have your pyjamas on at 7 o'clock in the evening. Nobody knows. But when you come on live, you need to be slightly more presentable. Like Caroline was shouting, you have 40 seconds, you have 20 seconds, and then running back into the room with a couple of washed fines.
I don't know if any of you have ever seen, there's a film that Columbo did, I can't remember what it was called, but this woman does a murder, and what she does is she tapes herself saying, you have 1 minute and 20 seconds. You have 1 minute and 10 seconds. And it's like that here. I'm saying to Phil, 3 minutes, 20 seconds.
That was one of the old
minutes.
Columbos, but they're all fairly old. But it was one of the old ones. It was when the lady was doing a murder and a robbery in their family museum. I don't know the title, but I remember it. I have two of my children bought me the entire Columbo collection.
Yes.
As a box set for a present. I know you can get stuff online and everything else, but there's nothing quite like having a box set.
You do like collections.
I do. I've got the box set. I've got Downton Abbey. No, we haven't got Downton Abbey. Have we? We may have, but we've definitely got a Lolo. No, it's not. Yeah, we've got a Lolo, and we've got IDI. Got IDI.
This isn't very good for somebody who doesn't pronounce the H's, is it?
Hello, and IDI. We just hi, and hello.
Yes.
Yeah, but we've also got Lewis, and we've got and what's the one we're watching? We're just about to finish the second time through. West Wing.
That's right, West Wing.
Yes, West Wing. We watch West Wing. Yeah. What's his name? Martin Sheen for president. Yes. West Wing.
Let's have a little look at something mudlarking related for all you people who've rushed in just to see
first,
mudlarking things. I'll tell you what, I'll go first because...
Go on, I'll let you.
We didn't
know, did we? Didn't know that, did we?
We didn't know this, no. You're spoiling my thunder.
No, I'm just letting you know we didn't know.
No.
I didn't know.
We got 2 of these, and they match. We just discovered that now, and if you look very carefully inside that one, let's see if I can show you. I'll show you the back on there. There's a little brush, so it's actually nail varnish, I think. The top's long gone, but the brush is stuck in there. Oops.
Ooh.
So they've got like a little circle on the front. I'm not sure what make they were. Somebody may recognise them.
The one side looks like almost a teardrop,
yeah, they got,
doesn't it?
Just a minute. Yep.
It's indented, is it on one side?
There. So that's the side they both got some sort of texture on, and there they've got like a water drop. So I'm wondering if maybe it's like some sort of clear varnish for your nails. But what a chance finding 2 the same.
On separate occasions, obviously, because we didn't realise we had 2 identical ones. So if anybody watched those 2 videos and thought, that's strange, I'm sure they found that before. You're right, we did.
Twice, but only one's got the brush.
Yes. So it just goes to show, things do turn up in 2s. In fact, when we were up in Yorkshire, some things were turning up in 4s and 5s. What was the things up there? What was that jar, the brown one with
Viral. Oh, I love the shape on Viral bottles.
Yeah, we've only ever found one down here. We used to find, when we'd go up to Tom's area, we were finding 4 or 5 at the time. It was brilliant.
Oh, Kathy Calvin has said, Phil, please say Ruth Maddox.
Ruth Maddox?
Ruth Maddox.
Ruth Maddox. Is
that
right?
That sounds completely normal.
Did you know that, I believe, if I'm correct, because I'm quoting something that I read, and that's not ever such a good idea sometimes, or heard perhaps, but Ruth Maddox, I believe, is dyslexic.
She is, yes.
And she memorised every single line. She couldn't rely on reading our lines in anyway. She had to memorise the entire thing from beginning to end because she couldn't have a quick look. So she used to memorise everything. There we are. A little bit of useless information. Do you want to do another one? Or
And before you do, I do have... I think I have... That's supposed to be gotten right. No, I don't.
You know, what have you got?
I was going to... I brought... No, that's from last month. Right. I did have... I've made it. I've got a thing saying a thank you to all the people who've supported us over the last 2 weeks because we forgot to put it out last week. And so I got the
2 live shows and no thank you.
It would have been right up on the screen so everybody could see, and I can't find it. It's somewhere in my computer. But a big thank you to anybody. I'll get your names up next week along with any Ko-fis we get this week. But a big thank you to everyone who supported us that way. And you may have seen the little ticker on the bottom. That is
in the countdown. In
the countdown, yes. I'm going to add to that every time somebody supports us monthly. I'll stick your name on there so you get your naming lights, sort of.
Yeah. if people do a super chat, they get an immediate recognition on you and we're able to thank them. But when things happen on Ko-fi, it's not so simple to say thank you. So if people give on Ko-fi during the show, we get a notification so we can thank you, which is great. But when people give afterwards, and can I just mention that some people, in particular our dear friend Derek James, he supports us, has been supporting us monthly for some months, but he does that completely outside of all of these systems. So there is no means of putting Derek up. But big thank you to Derek because he's been one of our stalwart supporters throughout. Fair play.
Right, now Phil's going to show you something now. I'm going to take this because I've got a very important announcement to make. I will be back. I couldn't do this before and you'll see why when I come back.
Right, she couldn't do this before, but you'll see why when she comes back. Right, folks, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you. I think I'll move to the middle. Seems I'm doing a solo flight,
I'm not going to be that long.
Ah, well, it didn't for now, love. I've taken over the show. Ha-ha! It's the one show, and I'm the one. Okay, folks, I'm going to show you my obsession for broken things, because some of you will remember this one. When I was clearing the garage, I come across this again. My broken pot that I found, all in pieces, and managed to glue it all back together, only one bit missing. And of course, I'm sure you all remember the Grecian urn. That one was in bits as well, and I glued it back together. And of course, we have that old stalwart, the Brown Betty teapot. And I had one Brown Betty teapot that you may remember stood under that one, forming a plant pot, and I glued it together from about 20 pieces. Now, let me show you this. This is incredible.
Incredible.
This will show you why I'm a great believer. When I say that Gorilla Glue works, it works.
Right.
Let me show you this.
Well then, give us a demonstration.
There's my teapot.
Ooh, it's a teapot.
It's half a teapot.
It's not a very well teapot.
The reason it's half a teapot is because when sorting out the garage, I hit it off a shelf and it smashed. But here's another half a teapot. And here's what's amazing. That fell from a great height, hit the floor with such force on the concrete, it smashed. But if you look, nowhere along there is there a glue repair. That thing hit the floor, smashed in half, and it's a completely new break. It's smashed.
The glue held together.
The glue joint held better than the original pot. That has got to say, this stuff does its job.
You need to use more of it now.
I was quite impressed with that, and I thought I would share that with you. So there we are. A couple of recaps on the finds there from some of the broken things. And are you going to show where you've just been?
I am. Because this is, if you live in other parts of the country or the world, this may not be that exciting to you, but look what I just got.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
It's snowing in Wales.
You didn't stop me singing.
No, I think you...
I can sing that,
I'm not sure. Don't sing it just in case.
She now has a snowball.
I've got a snowball.
Yeah.
Ready now? Deck.
There we go. Snowball.
Snow. I'm really excited. I love snow.
Watch where you put that now. Because I don't want it...
I'll put it down your shirt.
No.
Oh, you're so boring. You wouldn't let me put it down your shirt.
I remember when I was a lad. When I was a lad...
Oh, that long ago.
It was a long time ago. Some 50 years ago, I remember me and my older brother having a difference of opinion because we were arguing over who took the biggest pancake. the last 2 pancakes. And I said he'd take the bigger one and it was on my side of the plate or something. And he got in a temper and he stuck it down my shirt. Which wouldn't have been so bad except my mum had filled them with stewed apple. So I had a stewed apple pancake down the back of my neck. So there we go. That brought back memories then, dear, when you threatened to stick that snowball down Essie. Are we going to do a question?
We are. Here we go.
We are having a quiz. Now, as many of you will know, Caroline is an avid collector of broken bits of plastic.
Oh, that's not picking up. It's not green, but it must be grubby bits on it. Stains or something.
It's a tinge of green because there's a yellow duck.
Showing through our green screen.
But that one's definitely green, so that's not going to show at all.
I'll tell you what, I will knock off our
it's all right. Look, I can see what it is. There we go. I can see what it is. It's a cockerel.
You put it somewhere like that. See into my brain, look.
It's a cockerel.
Oh, look, you can see all the electrical impulses going off in my brain. That's amazing, isn't it? A magic chicken, a magic cockerel.
And here we have a whole duck. There we go. Whole ducky, plastic ducky. And this one should work because we showed this last time. So there's our rabbit. Caroline does like this 1950s style plastic, blown plastic. And of course, we have our lovely, wonderful, beautiful, priceless plastic Eiffel Tower. So my questions tonight are related in some way or another to plastic
Right.
and toys.
I haven't used them, so here we go. Let's see if I get them right.
Right, so I'll start with this. While PVC was first polymerized between 1838 and 1872, a key breakthrough came in 1907 when a Belgian-American chemist created Bakelite. That was a massive breakthrough. The first real synthetic mass-produced plastic that the world had seen. That was in 1907. Could you tell me the name of the Belgian-American chemist who created Bakelite?
No. Right, well, you're all coming up with your answers. Let's have a look. Lots of people saying you have a bit of snow. Lexi said not even enough for a slush ball. No snow in Maryland, said Sweet Blue. We've got 6 inches in Michigan. Whoa, we can have it all. Oh, send it over.
Yeah, it's
how deep is the snow? Here. Sherry said about 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
To scrape loads of it. But it's
actually
a big deal for us.
Yeah, Caroline shouted in when I was watching Docking Bay. So about an hour ago it started, a little flurries. It's not expected to come to a great deal. But it's nice to see. It puts a dusting on everything.
Everything looks clean and
it looks
and
neat and tidy.
No, Lexi said our snowball wouldn't even make a snowball that big. There we go. So, some of you got snow, some of you haven't, right there.
I didn't know he was an American as well as being a Belgian. Somebody guessed Poirot.
Poirot. You invented Bakelite.
Yeah.
He was definitely around at that time.
He definitely had a fair bit of Bakelite in his flat. Every time we watch Poirot, and I love Poirot. I love all Agatha Christie characters, and I love Poirot in particular. In fact, I have a walking stick.
You do.
Identical to Poirot's. I've got the top and I made a walking stick with the swan on. And when I'm old and eccentric, I will dress like him and I'll walk around like a penguin with my little waistcoat on and my smoking jacket. And this is after Caroline's left me because she can't cope with my eccentricity.
We'll bring on that action very quickly.
But I think Poirot was definitely Belgian. Don't think he was American. I doubt he was a chemist, and I certainly didn't invent Bakelite because he'd have only been a boy in 1907.
Now, James Archer said, Mr. Baker not so light.
No, there we go. See, we get creative now.
Because you can get Bakelite. I always used to think of it as brown. We had, when I was 8, we moved into a new house to us, but it was an old house and all the light switches were Bakelite. So I always thought everything Bakelite, all the sockets, was just brown. But it turns out there's some really nice greens, reds, yellows, but they're very expensive because they're so rare, but lovely things. And I think I've said this before, but I will say it because I can't remember if I did. If you're wondering if something is Bakelite, if you rub it quite hard with your finger a few times and smell it, it'll really have a nasty smell if it's Bakelite.
supposed to have like a burning smell, no?
Well, no, it's a formaldehyde, I think it is. It's just a chemically, it's a very unpleasant smell. If you rub plastic, you might get a mild plastic smell off it. Let's try it. Don't think you'll get any smell off it. No. Can't smell anything on there. Bakelite you will. Right then, have we got some winners?
We have, indeed we have. And first correct answer, I believe, I've just been double checking because they come down so quick. And of course, a lot of people say Mr. Bakelite, which is kind of, with my reading, it's kind of similar to Mr. Beakland.
And now some people have got that
They have.
answer, yeah.
Yes, that's why I had to check. Oh, some people have said Mr. Bakelite before that, but they weren't correct because it's our graduate from Aberystwyth in first. Got the top slot, gold award for Mr. and went the full on because I had Leo Beakland, but they got Leo Hendrik Beakland.
His middle name as well.
Yes, and they were closely followed by Crafty Caravanners, who I think it's the fact they called him Lee is because they probably got a spell corrector. But yeah, they got Beakland there, and we've got, I believe it was Mo that came in third on that one. I believe it was.
Hopefully Phil's got you in the right order. We do tend to sometimes have things a little bit jumbled up.
Oh, hang on.
Hang
Yes, it is. Yeah, we got a run of them. Crafty Caravan has corrected their Lee to Leo, but we're taking Lee as acceptable because it was only the second name we needed. But yeah, we've got top of the tree, Lexi, coming in second. We've got Crafty Caravanners, then Mo, quickly followed by James, Antoinette and Rachel.
Well done, everyone. I had no idea.
That was the first genuine, true plastic created, mass-produced.
Now, Norma said we had a Bakelite factory close to us in Newton Aycliffe. It blew up in the 1950s.
Oh.
Doesn't sound very safe, does it?
Well, they'll be able to tell you whether it does smell weird when you rub it.
Do you remember when it burned out? Did it smell? That's
Unless
assuming
it was
you were
before
around
your
at that
time, perhaps.
I have no idea. I don't be offensive. I don't know if you're 20 or 120, but...
And if you're 120, congratulations.
Yes.
You're doing well.
It's interesting. Always a bit of a giveaway is that when people start their... start going on eBay and things, not eBay, so many different platforms on the internet, and you need to get yourself an address, and you put in like Fred Blogs 62 and think, oh right, so Fred Blogs was born in 1962, so I don't know, you got 47, which could be a clue, but it might be completely irrelevant. You may live at number 47.
I fooled him also on one of my email addresses. I use 2040 because that's my goal, to still be here, New Year 2040, because that means if I get to 2040 I get to celebrate my 80th. I'm going for that.
Oh, Lexi said the Milky Bars are on me. Oh, I remember that. My friend once made a cheesecake using Milky Bar chocolate. Oh, that was lovely. You could feed yourself getting fatter every mouthful. Very nice though.
Staying on the plastic theme, I will show you another find which you'll remember perhaps from when we were up in the Iron District of these parts of Wales, up Rumney, wasn't it? And Caroline found that. We were able to immediately date that to a time because it's got on there 3 shillings. No, now 1 shilling off. Well, we ain't had shillings around these parts since I were a lad. It's got to be over 50 years since we had shillings because, of course, we went decimalisation. So it's got to be, it must have been, it's got to be, that's about 50 years ago, and I can't remember.
I was too young to remember that.
Somebody will tell us now when decimalisation was.
I remember changing over the money, but I don't remember much more.
Well, I know we had the conversion to North Sea gas from coal gas at the same time.
Right.
So I know that happened, and I know I was staying with my auntie up in Hereford at the time because my mum was in hospital, and of course my dad had died by then, so we got shared out to the family for a couple of weeks while mum was in hospital, and I was staying with my auntie up there, Auntie Brenda.
Crafty Caravan is 1971.
There we go, 1971. I was but a lad. I'd have been 10, going 11. So there we go. It was 50 years ago then. So we was metricated.
That explains why I can vaguely remember it, but I was 4, so 6. 4 would have been nice when it's 6, yes. So I was 6. So I was in school.
So if we've just Brexited the EU after 47 years, that means decimalisation came before we joined the common market.
Yes, I think so.
It did. We went decimal first. because of course that wasn't so much to do with just the EU, it was to do with the rest of the world. For some reason, the rest of you didn't understand the good common sense of having 12 pennies in 1 shilling and 20 shillings in £1, therefore 244 pennies in a pound. You thought it was easier to have 100 cents in a dollar.
I wonder where they got that idea from.
100, whatever they had in France, cents in a franc.
Oh, give me decimalisation any day.
Everybody, for some reason, we dear old Brits had a completely different system to everybody else in the world, and we just decided it'd probably be easier.
Philip Wilkins said, we went to decimal currency in 1966. Well, I'd have been 2 then.
There you go.
Right. This snowball watch, a bit like spring watch. It's still there, look, and the heating is on. It's still surviving. It's not turned to slush yet. I wonder if it'll make it till the end of the programme. It's got 27 minutes.
You have to ask yourself, does this indicate the quality of the snow or the quality of our central heating system? Because
I'm boiling.
It's actually sat next to the radiator.
That's the problem here. We've got backs to the radiator. If you turn them off, it freezes, but if you leave them on, it just gets so hot.
Of course, that indicates 2 things. One, the reason why plastic is so useful, it is so durable. It is so easy and cheap to produce. But we all know it does leave the problem that after 50 years in the ground, that don't look much different to when it went in.
No.
Because not being a natural substance in any way, shape or form, there's no natural molecules in there, it doesn't degenerate in the same way as other things would. And of course, although glass doesn't degenerate, glass of itself is a natural thing. We get glass from the beach. We've just converted it into another forms as part of what we are.
Look at the chemist.
Oh, I tell you, I've been doing. Oh, if I'm going to ask a quiz, I got to be careful.
You're an expert in
they
school.
might ask me a technical question. Yes, you could tell by my exams and my reports.
Although Norma said, I don't know about the smell from the Bakelite factory. I was staying with my grandmother in Ashington at the time, right? So no information there on the smell. Sweet Blue said, all this chocolate talk, I always get a craving for chocolate during these happy hours. Sorry, we corrupted your diets.
I haven't said chocolate. I talk about Bakelite and plastic.
I'm sure
so obviously somebody in the chat.
Oh yes, I did see somebody talking about
I reckon it's them naughty people in the chat. See, I haven't even brought my
Pink Panther chocolate.
I have 1 box of chocolate fingers left, 1 bag of licorice panda heads. Just feels wrong eating pandas. I have to eat them when Monkey's in bed in case he gets a complex.
Yeah. Just get a bit upset.
But I've got to say, is Tatiana in tonight? The
that's what I wanted
cakeys
to show you.
and chocolates that were in our pile were absolutely awesome. Those little square things were totally delicious.
Now,
yes.
I haven't seen Tatiana commenting, so I don't know if you'll be watching now or on the replay, but when we were opening all the things, I didn't really get the chance. We had so many things going on, and then I looked later.
We read the letter, and you didn't see the front of the letter.
It's so well done. I imagined that it was a professional card, but it's not. She's done this herself, and can you see hanging up? We've got a stripy welly, a diggy thingy, and a brick. That is absolutely gorgeous. So I just wanted to show you all again and say thank you again to Tatiana. And there's even, look down there. There's a little monkey panda with his party hat on. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, the treats in there were lovely, lovely.
Christina said those were the domino stern. Those are my favourites as well. Yes, domino, that was the word. I don't know what it was. It's just something about them.
The texture, everything about them was
I think there was a bit of like runny orange plus chocolate plus like a gingerbready mild taste, bit of everything.
Because the longer ones with nutsy things, I know I'm not a big nut eater, but the nuts on those were so fresh and such a good quality. They sometimes nuts can be a bit hard and woody, can't they? So I ate all those to save Caroline from the calories. I'm a good man like that.
Sherry said you must throw the snowball at Phil if it lasts till the end of the show.
So
no, you wouldn't want.
You can go off people very quickly. Do you know what? There's actually a video out there on our old channel. For those who've seen it, our eBay channel, there's a video there of Caroline shooting me.
Yeah,
with one of them
Nerf guns.
Have you seen the Nerf gun? She had a repeater automatic Nerf rifle.
Oh, they're great fun.
And she was testing it. She decided to test it on me. I ended up getting shot to bits.
Oh, it didn't hurt much.
I've been left on mountain tops chasing cars. All sorts.
As I always say, a little bit of pain never hurt anyone.
No.
When it comes to Phil, anyway.
Oh, it's half past, so we haven't done second
quick,
question.
Another question.
We'll stick with Bakelite for a minute because it's fresh in your minds. All right? Today, as we've demonstrated with the few things we've shown you from our finds, we use plastic for just about everything. Whatever walk of life you find yourself in, you go into a hospital, it's full of plastic, you go into a shop, it's full of plastic. Everything has plastic. But when Leo Baekeland invented Bakelite, which, as I said, was the first fully synthetic plastic, meaning it contained no molecules found in nature. If it's fully synthetic, there are no molecules found in nature. He was searching at that moment for a synthetic substitute for something called shellac, a natural substance used in which rapidly expanding industry of Leo's day.
I think I know
In
the answer.
1907, they used shellac in this particular industry. It was expanding rapidly around the world, and they really needed it in America at the time. And it's what made him probably a billionaire by today's standards.
I got it wrong then. Right, let's have a look at
What
what
do you
your
think it
answers are coming in.
was?
Doc in Bed Bay said, Hero Chocolate's my favourite, but not now I'm dieting. No more choc chat now. Okay, we'll try and behave ourselves. And then Mary said, we are saving all our plastic tops and we'll melt them and try making cutting boards. That sounds really interesting. Ooh, let us know how you get on with that. I wouldn't mind trying that.
Using what?
Only plastic bottle tops and making chopping boards with it.
Ah, right.
That sounds really good. Now, a couple of people thinking along the lines of me as well, so I think maybe it wasn't just for the thing that Phil's got down on his sheet.
Yes, it was. I'm
No,
right.
it's not. I want to be right.
No, I'm right.
You.
And so far, 2 people agree with me.
2.
Yeah, we've got 2 correct answers.
What we got?
Or shall I say 2 people who agree with me, which makes them correct under this situation. Because just like all true monarchs, I have absolute control in this realm. Yeah, I can only see 2 correct answers so far. I'm surprised.
Oh, hello, Robin. Robin just popped in. A
That
lot
I
of
can
people are
see.
coming in on my side.
I'm waiting to see if we get a 3rd correct answer, right?
I don't think you're going to get one.
Okay.
I'll give you the reason why I thought and what I thought, and then you can tell us what your answer is then. I was going down the thing of French polishers, I think, use shellac, and this, you just keep building up layers and layers and layers and gives a superior shine to a wooden surface.
Which
So
is
that's
what threw
I-
everybody off.
Yeah, but that's not
Do you know
the
what
truth,
else
is
they
it?
were using shellac for?
No.
Shellac was the one natural substance that created a good insulator. But what they didn't have was enough supply of it for the fact that America in 1907 was electrifying. Right across. America was big into electricity. They got it faster than anywhere else. We were starting to put it into big houses, you know, with the toffs and the millionaires. They were electrifying their rail systems and everything. So they needed insulators. So the replacement for the substance, the natural substance they were using, became Bakelite, which you could create totally and make at demand. And if you think about it, all your old electric fittings out of houses were Bakelite. All the insides were Bakelite. Now they use other forms of plastic, which are cheaper to make.
Now, what threw me, well, not through me, but the reason why I didn't come up with insulators, because whenever we find insulators, they're ceramic.
Correct.
And I have heard that some places find glass insulators. I've never seen a glass one.
But what you've got to realise is, those are insulators, as in they do the job of insulating. But in the back of every plug, inside every plug, a plug is an insulator, because if you grabbed hold of that plug and it was made of something that conducted electricity, it'd blow your arm off.
Right, so what came first then? I'm going to have a bit of a debate here. Debate. It's like question
you're
time.
loving this, now.
So, did they discover then that shellac was good for polishing before or after they were using it for? It must have been after then.
No, possibly before. It was a substance. It's a natural substance that they when electricity was invented, they tested all sorts of things, and they were using shellac, but then they replaced that with Bakelite.
Well, Adele said shellac is a byproduct of a shellac beetle.
There we go.
Oh, hello, Phyllis.
Which would be quite...
Phil's mum. She's in. Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Which would be quite limiting, My mum tasted my cooking this week and my brother. I sent them Indian spiced shepherd's pie. There we are. And they enjoyed it. As did my wife, so she said. And Tim as well enjoyed it.
Oh, Crafty Caravan has said, I think Scottish Mudlarks got sent a lovely purple glass insulator recently. Ooh. Wow, I wonder if that was... Well, I haven't seen any herbs. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but I haven't seen any.
You can use glass, you can use anything that won't conduct electricity. You can use wood, but it's not very good because it gets damp. But what they were looking for was an on-demand product that didn't rely on a natural resource that was limited and expensive.
So now we know.
And Leo came up with it. And the rest, as they say, was history, because he was the all-time lottery winner of all times with that remedy. So there we go, folks. So the winners were Kentish Mudlarks and All It Glitters, because I believe they were the only two that said the electricity industry.
Still there. Still a chance that we're going to throw it at Phil before the end of the show. Starting to melt a bit now. Right.
There we are, so that's two. And give a shout out to the Kentish Mudlarkers for their channel. If you haven't seen them, folks, go over and have a look. Their channel is coming up and starting to build their numbers. So if you like what you see, subscribe and give them some support. Share the love at the beginning of 2021.
Right, well, I'll go over here then.
Oh, yes, that's nice.
I love this little bottle. And it's quite unusual because normally if you find blue ones, they got the ridges on. Now this does say in ecto. Now, I don't know whether that was like a medical vial. In ecto sounds very sort of scientific, doesn't it?
Somebody can look it up.
So I don't know if anybody knows what in ecto is. But I like it because it's not stripy. Because if I show you what would be a standard poison bottle, you're going to get the ridges like that one. No, it's a green one. That's not working, is it? Believe me, it's a green one. So it's nice to have something that looks sort of medical and poisonish. It almost looks like, you know, they all do these Harry Potter spells and things. Like Docking Bay 51 do some like magical, mystical bottle things. They just look like that, don't they? Not so much that one, because it does have a screw top. But that one could really be in part of a antique apothecary's case or something, couldn't it? Excuse me.
Have you got something else? Are you going to show us something else? Go on then.
Go on.
I'm just going to say, on the subject of insulators, yeah, that's what Caroline was referring to as a ceramic insulator. Most of the ones we find are badly damaged. So, but this one's in pretty good nick, and I'm sure I'm going to find a use for that, even if it's only for a paperweight in my shed. But that's an insulator. But as I say, when I refer to using it as an insulator, I don't mean as one of those. I mean as an insulative substance. So when they were wiring houses, they made plugs, sockets, light switches, light fittings. If you think back to your childhood, all your plugs were Bakelite. That's how they made it. It was a substance that could be moulded easily, make a plug. When you caught all it, didn't blow yourself up.
Always useful.
But of course, the disadvantage and why they've been replaced by other plastics is Bakelite can be quite fragile. Can it?
Yes, it can.
But there we are. That's an insulator, folks. There they be.
Right, Rachel said, my grandfather was a cabinet maker and during the war he was a foreman at a factory in Birmingham that made wooden fuselages for the Mosquito plane. Well, that's interesting.
Ooh.
And Charlotte has the same bottle but in clear glass. Kay Sally said, I think the one with beef is technically cottage pie, yes, and lamb is shepherd's pie, isn't it? Don't think they contain any shepherds.
What's that?
Pies. Shepherd's pie, cottage pie.
Yeah, but mine didn't have either in.
No. Yours would
I'm
have been
veggie.
a mushroom
Mine,
pie.
mine was veggie, so the main component in mine was green beans.
Yeah.
Yes, so mine was a vegetarian version because, of course, it came out of my Airy Bikers Veggie Feast book, which Lexi bought me.
Yep. Oh, we've
for my
got some
birthday.
lovely recipes, very fancy.
Yeah, that's my third meal I've cooked now. Plus, I've brewed up 3 pans full of mulled wine.
Yes.
Which was great fun. Thanks to Tatiana, because she sent us, I think it was 10 of the bags of spices for mulled wine. So I quickly put an order in and got 6 bottles of 0 alcohol red wine and has made up 3 bottles. And I've promised Mum's never tasted mulled wine, so I've promised Mum a bottle and a pouch of herbs so that my brother Jerry can brew it up for her on the pan. So there we go.
Right. Yeah. Let's have a look. Carol has something to do with hair products. And let's have a look. Google shows a few in Ecto hair dye bottles from the 20s. Oh, well, that's a very pretty hair dye bottle. When you think nowadays, they just come in plastic, plain boring things with a label on. Docky Bay 51 said, I can make you some stickers for the bottles. That would be lovely, thank you. They do them all sort of, because you do these really mystical.
Are we on the bottles now? What are you doing, dear? What have I missed?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
See, I know you.
Mo said
really.
one of those bottles is on eBay for $59.99. Wow. The only thing is, Mo, there's what somebody asks for it, and because I work on eBay, I tend to have to check up prices and things.
Check sold.
Yes, if you click on sold, then you'll see how many of them sold and what the price is sold for. And
if they're selling for that, get back to us.
Let me know, and it'll be listed by tonight. But sometimes you look and think, I got like this plastic duck, and somebody's selling one for £500, and then you find out that but they all sell for like 50p. So, but it wouldn't surprise me because it is.
It is.
Where's it gone?
It is a nice thing.
No, there it is.
I was starting to panic again. You've lost it?
Yeah, it is really. And it's got some nibbles around the top, which is a bit of a shame.
But it's worth checking out.
It is unusual. As I say, it doesn't have the lines on, so it's just... I like it.
Lexi says she forgot to email to have the photos of the food. Send the email through, Lex, and I'll send you the photos. You know the email address? AOL at...
No, Mudlarking at AOL.com.
That's right. I got it right, only backwards.
Mudlarking at AOL.com.
One of my favourite statements of TV history was when Eric Morecambe turned round to Andre Previn and said, I am playing all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. And that, my friends, is the story of my life for 60 years. I get it all right, but I don't necessarily get it the right way round.
No.
And that's just the way it is. But I'm happy.
Well, Epiphany said, when you heat wine to mull it, the alcohol evaporates. It's really good. If you don't want... Oh, wait a minute. Now, Sarah says the alcohol only evaporates if you make it very hot. If you just warm it, it's still alcoholic.
Well, to be honest, I got 6 bottles of... What was it called?
Oh, I can't remember.
Iceberg?
Oh, yeah, I think it could have been.
Eisenberg?
No, it could be Iceberg.
It was a red wine, which they created. They didn't just make a liquid with no alcohol. They created the wine, they brewed the wine, then they took the alcohol out. And I got 6 bottles for, I think it was £16.99 delivered. Because, of course, we couldn't go out. But I had it delivered for that, which I thought was very good. And it does taste...
It tastes like what? Because some of the wine substitutes are just like pop, but they're not, or soda, but they're not as sweet. But this really does taste like wine.
It's only recently that Caroline and I have been teetotal, so we quite appreciate the taste of wine. And, with a meal or something. So we could tell that it was quite a nice wine. So we were quite pleased, because you won't get a decent tasting wine for that price, not 6 bottles, I don't think. And that was delivered. That was via Amazon. It was a really good buy. We were really thrilled with that.
Yeah, Lexi said, like the articles in the paper saying 50 pence is selling for thousands. Yeah, but they've got to be the right one, haven't they? I've never yet found a right one.
And very often they're for sale for thousands, but not necessarily selling.
No. All the Glitter says, does drinking Malbec on mull count as drinking mulled wine?
Possibly.
If you wanted to, why not?
Yeah, why not? You are in charge of your own destiny. If you want it to be real, it's real.
Oh, Lexi buys Freaksiny wine because she likes the design of the bottle. I like bottles.
Yeah.
Whenever we've been over to France and thought we'd buy some wine, I always go for the pretty bottles. And sometimes it's, the pretty bottle.
Yes.
Oh, once we were I was going to French lessons before we went to France, and our teacher said the one way to know if a wine is good is follow a local around, because if you see them putting lots of bottles of wine in their trolley, then it's obviously a good wine. So we were in the supermarket and this French couple were putting all this wine in, so I said to Phil, hey, we'll try that one. And it was fairly reasonable. It was something like about £2 a bottle.
Fairly reasonable. How tight she is. Fairly reasonable, about £2 a bottle.
£2 a bottle. So we put a couple of bottles in, got it home. It was the most vinegarish wine I've ever tasted in my life.
They were obviously buying presents for friends they didn't like.
Or using it to clean the toilet. It was awful. So we were stuck with all this.
This is true, right? When my youngest was little, my youngest still got very powerful taste buds now, but when my youngest was little, due to complications, had a very weak taste on it and loved vinegar on everything. So in the end, because they put vinegar on cooked dinner, Caroline introduced them to mint sauce because it looked more civilised when you went to visit people. If you asked for mint sauce and asked for vinegar to go on your potatoes and gravy. And we went on holiday and we forgot to pack the vinegar. But when we arrived there, they'd left a bottle of wine.
We use the word wine very loosely.
Complimentary bottle of wine. It was probably about 70p's worth in a bottle. No kidding, we used it as vinegar. Punched a hole in the top and used it as vinegar. Joe was quite happy with the vinegar, and that was really bad wine. That was the cheap stuff they left in your caravan.
Adele Khan said, I'm an alcoholic, so I've been sober for 15 years, so no wine for me. Well done. That's brilliant. You can be proud of yourself there.
Well, I very rarely drank. I only drank on holidays because one of us had to, and Caroline's I've never seen Caroline drunk in her life, but she'd like have a glass of wine occasionally and that. But I always would say, well, I never would, so that if ever there was a problem with the children, I could jump in the car and go. So I just never did when I was at home. So then I would, if we went to France, I would buy usually a bottle of Bergerac and a bottle of Muscat. They were the two quite sweet drinks because I wasn't much of a drinker. But in recent times, the last 12 months or so, we decided to stop and we haven't had a drink. Nope. Which, because not all of our friends have realised that, we have quite a collection of very nice wines, which I'm now using for cooking. I put some, we must be at the poshest jacket potatoes going. Because is this saute you do with the when you those leeks? I tell you, they didn't know what it hit them. That was the poshest white wine ever going in there. Because as you say, when you cook with it and you cook to that degree, it all disappears anyway. But it leaves a nice taste.
Oh, hi, Mike. Mike Dando's in. Oh, Catherine Moore said, I had a bad experience with sweetened wine. Just a thought now gives me the heaves. I had a similar event with mussels. Now, I love mussels. And when we go to France, I always get my pot of mussels. Yeah. Take all the shells off.
Not anymore.
Oh, I was really ill once.
Your birthday, wasn't it?
Yes.
Took Caroline out for a birthday meal when we were living in Spain.
No, the first time was the French one. It wasn't my birthday. We were in France and I had them.
Oh, you did it twice.
Oh, I was really, really ill. And I didn't touch them for years. And then we went over to Spain and it was my birthday. I said to Phil, oh, come on, I'll try them. It must have just been one of those things. And as I was eating them, I wasn't enjoying them. They don't taste well. And then within about 20 minutes, we were walking around town and I said to Phil, I think I need to find somewhere. I'm really not well, and I was seriously
that
ill.
24 hours, I was frightened for Caroline. She was really ill, and we realised then you must have
some sort of allergy because I was so ill.
Developed an allergic reaction to seafood.
Well, Phil had to come and rescue me out of the toilet after about 3 or 4 hours and carried me back to the car because I couldn't stand. It was awful.
You were really ill. Yeah, that was frightening. That was because it is nasty. And the strange thing is, though, that can happen to people. You get people who develop an allergy quite late in life.
Because I've eaten loads of them and then suddenly...
Yeah, I've never liked... I'm plain eating pie and chips. You know, I'm the weirdest vegetarian ever because I don't like vegetables. It's just I like animals. But Caroline's happy because I never make the family feel they should be vegetarian. My youngest is vegan. Has been for 18 years. That's good going. Okay.
Oh, Nick and Andrea are in. Hello, Nick and Andrea. Lovely to see you.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes, Happy New Year. Hope you're having a lovely time.
Yeah, great friends from we still resell, but when we were resellers online, we were great friends with them and still are. And when COVID is forgotten, I'm sure we'll see each other again. But if you're interested in the idea yourselves, anyone out there, particularly now at this time, if you're finding things difficult with work and other things and you want to get into reselling, I would thoroughly recommend it. Throughout, we've still established a good income throughout with reselling, even during this COVID crisis. Then Nick and Andrea's channel is definitely worth a watch, folks. They are royalty as far as we're concerned. They know their stuff and they really have got.
As far as UK resellers go, they are, I would say, probably the best people to watch.
Of course, in America, you've got folks over there that are good too and great, and it's a slightly different world. But in the British market, honestly, what they do, it could be a big help to someone, whether you need pin money at the moment or whether you need another way to work, because nearly 10 years now you've been working at it, and for the last 7 of those been a full-time income, so definitely recommend that. But lovely folks, good to have you with us.
I'll have to cramp put my glasses on. Kay Sully said shellfish allergies are one of the most common late onset allergies. Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking, oh, is it just me because I've eaten so many? But I can't even look at the picture of mussel now. If they come on TV or the sound of somebody stirring them on a cookery programme, oh, now I'm like, ooh. Once it's had you once, well, twice. Only an idiot, they say, does the same thing twice. I did it twice and I was ill twice.
I was all right. I wasn't vegetarian in those days, but I had the chicken. Which didn't make me bad, did it, dear?
No, our Doc in Bay 51 said, we found you through one of Nick and Andrea's videos. Well, there you go. And now you're here. And Nick's here as well. I'm assuming it's just Nick. Usually it is in the evening. Andrea could be with you. Could be you both. Or could be Andrea.
Seems we got all this talk of seafood.
Yes.
I'll just
to finish me off.
I'll just sew some shells. There's a nice shell. Another nice shell. Something we started doing with our children when they were quite young, on our first foreign holiday, was I went and bought a box with the name of the place on it, a little treasure chest with Keeper on. That was our first ever foreign holiday. I'd suffered industrial injury, deafness, and they gave me a small payment, and I decided to take my family abroad for the very first time. And we went over to Keeper on, and we bought a box, and we still have that box, and it's full of shells off the beaches there. And then we went to another part of the world and we collected the shells. So shells are good things for bringing back memories. These shells came from Sabbione.
Punta Sabbione.
Punta Sabbione, which is in Italy. It's on the beach and you can travel over to Venice. And when I was sorting out the garage, I came across them because I'd been meaning to do something with these, because this little lady got an appearance on that video, because there is a video out there from Italy. If you look at our Italian ones at the very early days, isn't it?
Yes, I think.
Oh yeah, we'll take you around little shopping in Italy and everything if you have a look, folks. But that little character we found on the beach, and I intend to make a little something with that, because I'm going to put her probably into a shell.
She's called Beachcombing Betty, because we found her when we were beachcombing, and Beachcombing Betty just came to mind, so now she is Beachcombing Betty.
So the plan is she's going to get glued into a shell like so, and then that shell will be mounted into another shell, and that will be put onto a piece of driftwood, and then that will be going in our shop on Ko-fi, because we're opening a Ko-fi shop for odds and ends and bits and pieces, because Ko-fi doesn't only provide a means for people to contribute, either one-off or monthly, and as we mentioned over the Christmas period, if you're in a position to support monthly, anything from £1, so that's 25p a week, then we are putting out 30-second postcard style videos when we're out. So if we were out mudlarking today, that video may not come out for 3 weeks, because we got to edit it, and we try to build them up when the weather's good and things like that.
We're not on lockdown.
And at the moment we're on lockdown, so we're using old videos. But when we're out, we take a shot, say from the river or the dump, and just say, we're here today, having a great time, hope you're all doing well, thank you for supporting us, and we send those out. So those go over to people doing that. But this will be going, as soon as we figure it all out, we'll have a coffee shop.
Give it a go. She'll probably be the
and
first
she'll probably
thing to
be one of the first things to win a coffee shop.
Oh, it's just Nick, so there we go. Hello, Nick, I got it right. Antoinette said, my daughter-in-law loves fish dishes. She ended up in A&E after a severe reaction to swordfish. Well, I hadn't heard that. Ooh.
I heard on the West Wing.
Did you?
Yeah, I heard on West Wing that they were doing, I think Ellie, her name is, the daughter that was getting married. She was marrying the fruit fly man, and because she was expecting the baby, they weren't to have swordfish. So there must be something about swordfish.
Oh, there we go.
They couldn't have swordfish. I remember that. See?
Catherine said, I love your snowflake background. We are covered nice here in Michigan. And
oh, that was instantly inspired at 8:30 when the snow started.
Sarah's been enjoying the snowflakes too. And Lexi said, Italy has a little right. I'm going, Lord. Check out our video. Lake Garda, I think, will be in the title, and they actually take you for I think wait a minute, I don't think it's on that. I'll put it on the page over on our Ko-fi page. I've got to download it first, but I think I downloaded it. Yeah, I'll put that on our Ko-fi page in the next couple of days, and I take you for a walk around Lidl's in Italy, and you can have a look. That
video will be totally free. That won't be, when we say those 30-second, 1-minute videos we put out, they're for our supporters that pay monthly. But if you go over to Ko-fi, the live shows are going over there, and you'll be able to watch them.
Yeah, they're all free.
You don't have to contribute to go into Ko-fi. We're paying the fee to have a Ko-fi channel so that we can do all these things. And so all the live shows will be getting transferred over onto the Ko-fi, so you can just go on the Ko-fi link, don't have to make any contribution, and the videos we're talking about here, the full-length videos, they'll be available to anyone.
Yeah.
Just go over there to have a look. It's just, if we bring something like that into our main channel here, and it's only got a few views on it, it drags down the percentages on the channel, prevents us getting promoted, and we are very close to 5,000 now.
Yes.
So we're less than 100 away from 5,000, so we hope to get there in the next month, and then we want to go full steam ahead and double it. We're going to chase Tom, see if we can catch up with Tom.
I don't think there's any hope.
Tom started after us, but my gosh, he's done mega.
I noticed you were so far away from the camera. I look twice as wide as you.
That's what it is.
Move
My
forward,
diet's
maybe look thinner.
working.
Let's have a look. Kay Sully said, because swordfish and tuna are high on the food chain, pregnant women can't eat because of the mercury load in the flesh. Right. Don't explain it. Our car said, Caroline, been enjoying your drawing a day. Don't know how you were so disciplined though. Oh, I got some good news on that. I got.
Oh, aye. Where's your book?
It's down here because I film everything down here.
This is ready. Caroline's going to make a video this week.
This is my draw a person every day, and my first person I drew, I do a couple in my other sketchbook, was on the 4th of March last year, and if we were sneaky peeky.
For the intelligent people amongst you with marvellous memories, you will realise that was pre-lockdown, pre-COVID. We heard about it in the news, but we didn't get any lockdown in Britain for another 3 weeks.
No. So I've been drawing a person every day, ready for my art channel, and if I hold it up that way, that was my early attempts, and they're absolutely awful. But then as you flick through, I got some coloured pens, and then I started to draw more people with skin colours, because I got a skin colour pen, thing like that. And so it's a journey, really, of 9 months of my life. And so I'm going to do a sketchbook tour on that one. And I had something else I was going to say, and I forgot. It's gone completely out of my mind.
Yeah.
But yes, so that's going to be going on my art channel, and I've started a new sketchbook now. So
there we go.
I wonder where I'll be by the time we get to the end of that one.
Now, it wouldn't be me if we didn't have bits of metal to remind you of some of the things we found this year, and I've brought a couple of bits of metal down. There's just something beautiful in there when you get something like that. The innards of something clockwork, rusted away. And when I was sorting the garage, I decided that's not junk, that's art. And of course, we've got the snuff box. Remember that one, folks? Found that on our Mudlark on a Path, wasn't it?
Yes.
We found that one. And then we've got our Rumney Brewery.
It's not very well.
Ashtray, which is obviously...
That's not the green screen. There really are big, huge holes in it.
Yeah, there are holes in it. But that's the Rumney Brewery, Rumney and Crosswell's Brewery ashtray made out of alloy, which we found up at Bedwelly Pits. Couldn't think of the name because we haven't been allowed to go there for so long. And of course, I'm sure everybody, all our regulars will remember...
One of my favourite finds, that.
Our pocket watch that we found.
No minutes, but it's still a really nice find.
Beautiful find. So we've had a sort, and we've sorted out what's trash and what's not. And if Caroline was sorting out, there would be a lot more in the bin and a lot less in the garage. But see, folks, that's art.
That's a pile of rotten old metal. There's some nice bits in it, but Phil tends to keep everything. Let's have a look. Oh, Lexi found our channel through Tom's channel, right? And Catherine said, can you say the name of the markers you use to paint the rocks? They're Posca pens, and I've got a link in the description of this video, so if you check that out, there's a link over to Amazon. But
this video, you mean, or do you mean the video?
Yeah, on the bottom of this one as well. I put it on in case anybody asked.
Yeah, they're Posca. Posca. They're very clever.
Congratulations for nearly hitting 5k. Thank you, Adam. Yeah. Sarah, I'd like to see more of your drawings, Caroline. I'm Caroline J Art on Instagram, and you can every morning I post a picture of what I draw that morning. So that's Caroline J with Caroline and then a letter J Art, and follow me over there, and you will see my pictures every morning. Somebody else said the pens are wonderful. No, it's going too fast again. Happy New Year from USA from Bonnie Schultz. There we go.
Here's a nice find. Most bits of glass don't get through the sort out. The well-worn glass does. I've got 3 buckets up there. I said to Caroline, I'm going to start putting some of that in the shop as well. But this one I like because it's got Edinburgh. And the reason I like the fact it's got Edinburgh is that we found that at the mouth of the River Char on the south coast of England. So that had come a fair way.
Yeah.
You know, if we'd found that up in Yorkshire, it hadn't come so far. But that was in the River Char. That was one of our first finds on my birthday last year. Because, of course, we couldn't go anywhere for my birthday this year. Last year, we were down on the Jurassic Coast. The year before, I don't know if anyone has seen the other film. 2 years ago, it's one of our very early ones. I did a tour of 3 Christmas markets. We did Bruges, Ghent and Ostend. We left over in the morning, crossed over on the ferry, did all 3, had a glass of mulled wine in each, come back, got on the ferry, and we were back in Dover to go to bed in the night.
And I had the biggest candy floss, cotton candy in the world.
No
if you don't
kidding.
believe me, check the video out.
Check our video of my birthday 2 years ago. So that was before we couldn't travel. Why we travelled that day. We covered some miles, had some wonderful days, and some of the lights there in Ostend were brilliant.
Amanda Bell said, I found your channel when you turned up in my village. Well, there you go. Yeah, I suppose if you put in your village name, then if we've been there, we're going to turn up. Right, we'll have one more question because it's nearly 10 o'clock.
I've got 3 more questions.
I haven't got time for 3 questions tonight.
Yes, we have. We'll do them all in a row.
Right, here we go then.
Can't not have questions. Are you ready now, folks?
Yes.
Question number 1. In modern cars, there's plastic everywhere. From the interior to the body panels, even in the engine compartment. In which decade did plastics first appear in the car production line?
Right, I guessed. And I was completely wrong. I'm 20 years out.
In which decade did they first introduce plastic parts to the creation of cars?
Oh, Catherine Moore said, did you get a fresh box of candy floss for Christmas? No, I didn't. And Phil said he did look and he couldn't get any.
Yeah, I looked on. Be careful if you're shopping on Amazon for candy floss, because they had what looked like a huge tub of candy floss, and you could get this huge tub of candy floss for £14.99, which was expensive, but I thought she's worth it. Then when I read the actual measurement, it wasn't a huge tub of candy floss. It was sort of twice the size of a yogurt pot. And Caroline would not have been impressed if I'd blown that much of my budget for Christmas, because we set a budget.
Yes.
We wouldn't know where to stop. So we say, right, this is how much we'll each spend, this is what we'll buy. And that would have been a portion of your budget gone.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to.
But any candy floss for Christmas?
I did buy Caroline one of her other favourites. I did get her a box of orange slices dipped in chocolate.
The candied orange slices and then dipped in chocolate. Ooh.
I bought those instead because I could get a box of those for £10 rather than a little tiny tub of candy floss that would have disappeared for $14.99. So there we are.
Right then, so here we go. Let's have a look. Ooh, loads of answers in.
Yeah.
Some people guessed the same as me.
We've got some.
And we were wrong. Oh, there's the first one in, I think. Yep, I say we got the first person in.
I'm not sure. Then, is that the first?
Yep.
What about that one?
Where to? Oh, yeah, that would...
Aye, that would count.
Yes, that would count. Oh,
yeah.
We would have got into trouble
overlooked
there.
that one. Yeah,
yes.
I'm right. So, we've got quite a lot of correct answers. I think a lot of people like Caroline went early on it, but it actually came into the production in the 1970s. So, Adele got it, James came second, and P. Mitchell.
I would really thought...
Yes, P. Mitchell, I've got it right.
I really thought the 50s. Right, John, do you want to go straight into another question?
Ready for another question, folks? Can you take it? Are you ready for a quizzy question? Here we go. Long before plastic was invented, kids and grown-ups were playing with toys. The earliest known written historical mention of a toy comes from about 500 BC in a Greek reference to which toy, which in the ancient times was made from wood, metal, or painted terracotta.
No, I can't guess now because I looked down and it caught my eye.
Obviously, not plastic.
No, I wouldn't have got that though.
Not plastic. A toy that was mentioned 500 years BC by the Greeks that could be made from metal, from What have we got? Ooh, we got. That's not the right answer somebody got there, but I can see where they're coming from. That would have been, that would be good thinking.
Rachel said, what about a candy floss maker? I'd love one of those. And have you seen, if you're bored one day and you're looking for something on YouTube, have a look at candy floss art. Oh, I'd love to try that. And you've got all these they do massive flowers and they do all these Pikachus and things like that. So, yeah, I'd love to try one of those. I mean, I've never done it. When we were on holidays, while Phil's doing that, they'd got a candy floss maker in the restaurant at our campsite, and so I asked for a candy floss, and obviously the boy who was making it had
Didn't
no
have a clue. And
He-
the wind was blowing.
He was covered in candy floss, no kidding, covered all in his hair, his clothes. I was covered in candy floss. There were candy floss drifted away in the sky, and I felt like saying, "Oh, I'll make it. Get the way I can." I've watched so many people make candy floss.
He gave
I'd
it.
be an
He
expert.
just gave you the stick with a wobbly lump of candy floss
he was
on
a
it,
mess. He said,
and he
"Oh."
turned it off because he didn't know what he was doing.
He said, "Oh, I can't charge you. Just have it." Then he wheeled the machine back in. He wasn't going to use it. I watched him make candy floss. I know how to do it, I think. I love it. Right, so we got our first, second and third?
Yeah, we have. We had 2 good answers in before the first correct answer.
Right.
But the first correct answer with Yo-Yo was Mo.
Well done, Mo.
Oh, Yo-Yo. And then after that, we've got Pixies Gaming, who got Yo-Yo, 3 question marks, but take those question marks away. It's absolutely
done.
right. And number 3 is yet again that brain box from Aberystwyth University, Lexi B.
Well done.
There we go. So we've got 3 yo-yos there,
Right.
and a few others got it as well. And a few people got things like ball, spinning top, doll. They were the sort of things you'd think
like
they'd
Nick's
make.
put ball and hoop. Yeah, I would have come along that
But
sort of lines.
they were
I think.
making yo-yos. There you go. Right then.
Right, quick.
One last question.
Quick.
Yeehaw.
We're 4 minutes late already.
Here we go. You ready, folks? Now, yo-yos have stood the test of time. Still popular 2,500 years on. But other plastic toys in the recent decades have had their moment of fame as well, including one from our time, the Rubik's Cube, which was a 1980s fad that's still going today. People are still mesmerised by the Rubik's Cube, but it was massive when we were caught in, because we were married in 1981.
We were many moons ago.
There we are. So he was caught in, and I was caught in, this young 16-year-old. But the most famous, that is the masterpiece Rubik's Cube, was created to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the Rubik Cube in 1995. It was not made of plastic, but of 18-karat gold. And instead of stickers, which you could peel off and move around if you wanted to cheat, not that I would ever do that, instead of the stickers, they had 34 carats of rubies, 34 carats of emeralds, and 22.5 carats of amethysts to make the sides. What was the name of the expert diamond cutter who created this $1.5 million toy?
So there weren't any real clues in there, were they? I've got a clue.
Oh, it's just interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really interesting. No clues at all. I was just waiting for everybody to give me answers. See, people are giving me the price. Fred.
So Jenny Thomas said, make a candy floss smelling body spray. You can buy in Tesco's, Asda's. The only thing is, if I had a candy floss flavoured body spray, I keep licking myself down. I maybe want it all the time. It was a good idea though, isn't it?
Adam thinks I invented it.
Oh, Barbara's in from Malta. Hello, Barbara. I hope you're getting nice weather over in Malta. I think you get cold winters, don't you? I'm not quite sure. Not as cold as our winters, if I'm right. Because, snowball watch. Oh, I'm sorry to break it to you, everyone. We won't be throwing the snowball at Phil. That's why Phil said 2 more questions. You didn't want to get a snowball thrown at him. Well, you cheated.
Sneaky boy.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Now I got a problem here, right? Because we've got some correct answers in, and I'm going to give a shared first position.
Ooh, right.
And the reason I'm going to give a shared first position is because the first person to give me the full name was our bright spark from Aberystwyth.
Right.
Our Lexi.
Well done, Lexi.
But in fairness to Fee in the Shed, he said Fred.
Right.
And Fred, now, he might have just been saying Fred because he didn't have a clue. But sometimes, folks, it pays to say the first thing that comes into your head. I don't know if you want to confess Fee in the Shed to whether or not you knew his name was Fred, but his name was Fred. But it was Fred Coulier. And, of course, next to that came Lexi, who got the full name. Then we have, in fact, Lexi put it down twice just to be sure. So Lexi came first and second and third. And that's why I thought a number of people got it right, was it? There we are, Adele.
Right.
There we go. Adele has come in with it as well.
Everyone. Especially if you got it right. I wouldn't have got it right.
No, Adele got it right, Lexi got it right. And fair play to Fee in the Shed. Pure guesswork. I thought it was, buddy, but I gotta be honest. If you can guess like that, sometimes
That's impressive.
I don't know if anybody out there knows QI. It's a crazy quiz show from Britain. There's a guy on there. I've forgotten his name at the moment. Alan Davis. And if he didn't know the answer, he'd say blue whale. And one day he said blue whale, and he got it right.
Yes, didn't happen very often.
He knew if it was about big animals, he'd always say blue whale. And he got it right, and he was over the moon. So there we are. We're going to give you that one, and therefore that's the quiz for tonight, folks.
Phyllis said, freeze that water and make a throw-in ice cube. Oh, if I had more time.
Which Phyllis? My mother?
No.
I was thinking them.
Phyllis from Tennessee.
Oh, now then, you can go off people awful quick, my Phyllis.
Oh, well, Javier said, pour it down Phil's shirt. Do you think?
No. No, you're too nice, kind, and generous, and I'm making the coffee tonight.
What do you think?
Tonight.
Should I pour the water or not?
I'm going to make you sit. I'm going to cook you meals.
How much are you going to spend on me?
As much as you like. I can't. I gave you all my money.
It is very, very cold.
It is, and you wouldn't want to do that to me because I'm nice. Really, you shouldn't be cruel to nice people. Anyway, enough is enough. It's 10 past. It's time for us to
thank you all for joining us. It's been great fun. We've had some great answers. You're a bright spark, some of you lot. You're getting those quizzes. Well, you got more right than I did, put it this way. Or that way. Whichever way. Oh, it's gone 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed.
Yes, we're done.
So, I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun.
Bye.